to another edition of Steppin Up Big Time. I'm your host, Newbie Rattell. Stepping Up, we discuss sports, all sports, nothing but sports. I'm joined by two sports analysts.
Danny Martinez.
Corey.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about basketball once again. It's funny how, it seemed like it was just yesterday when we were talking about basketball with the Celtics and the NBA Finals, but a new season has come upon us. So new season, new problems, new solutions. And we have to talk about Paul Pierce, who's had a fantastic start to the season. Is this Paul Pierce's MVP year?
Well, in my opinion, Paul Pierce has been putting up MVP numbers for a long time. And I think that now people are just starting to realize it. Like, even Boston fans never really realized how good he was because the team was doing so poorly.
Yeah.
But there's been, it was, 2 years removed that he led the Boston Celtics in every single category. Points, steals, rebounds, every single thing that you could think of, he's been leading them. And he's been doing that. He's been a top 10 NBA player for the last couple of years, and people are just starting to realize it now. And I think that with last year's performance where he was one-on-one with LeBron James, followed by one-on-one with Kobe Bryant, and he did his thing. He showed up LeBron, showed up Kobe, and won a championship. Now I think people are starting to actually realize, hey, this guy's pretty good.
I think, Kai, what do you think?
I want to elaborate on this. The biggest thing about an MVP is the word valuable. This is why I say Paul Pierce is valuable. If you take Kevin Garnett out the lineup, Ray Allen out the lineup, we're still pretty decent. Paul Pierce's presence, his experience, everything. He's just that piece of the organization that has to be there. He's so valuable, like Danny said. You know, the guy's been doing it for years. He's been putting up the numbers, and he doesn't get respect. He's been on a losing team a lot. So, think about it. He's helping around him. I mean, he could relax this year. He could just score. He doesn't have to worry about doing too much. He just needs to play his all-around game, offense, defense, everything, and he'll be all set.
I think what makes Paul Pierce an MVP is this, okay? Defensively, this guy is starting to become a moose. This guy is starting to become a moose defensively, and it started with Kobe Bryant. I'll tell you what game, too. I'll tell you exactly what game. It was Game 4. Game 4 in the second half when they made that comeback, okay? Paul Pierce said, you know what, James Posey, he can take a step back. I got this. I got this. That's an MVP in my book because Iverson is a great offensive scorer. I mean, there's always going to be great offensive scorers, So, all right, he's like Iverson, great offensive scorer, But Iverson, what made an MVP was defensively. This guy was fantastic.
Just led the league in steals for years.
Kobe Bryant's a moose, and Paul Pierce getting to. I see LeBron, Kobe, and Paul Pierce right there.
And I think that that list rotates. It's not always in that order. I think Paul Pierce jumps those two guys on certain nights. Not overall.
He has a point.
There's nights where Paul Pierce is going to do better. He has something that you can see in him from day one. He has heart. The guy has crazy heart. I remember years ago, before we were talking about championship, the last time they made it to the playoffs when they played the Nets, and they were losing bad, and then they came back from a 20-point deficit and they won in the Garden, and he made that game-winning shot, and he's standing on top of the press booth. It's like, this is the kind of stuff that he's been doing for a long time. He just hasn't had the exposure, and it's funny because Boston's a big-time exposure league, but they've been losing for a long time. Now they're starting to win. He has less pressure on him. He doesn't have to be the number one scorer every night. And now you're seeing the game come to him instead of him having to force the issue. And it's a beautiful thing.
Like I said, I think there's 4 NBA players who's, like you said, Kobe, LeBron, Paul Pierce, and Dwayne Wade when he's healthy. Dwayne Wade when he's healthy, oh my goodness, phenomenal. Like this year, wow.
Yeah, he's
putting up big numbers.
Exactly.
He's healthy. But like I said, I can see that on a nightly basis switching up. But I know those 4 guys bring it every night. And there's a difference between those 4 other guys that separate them from the league. They block shots, they steal, they play defense just as well as they play offense. Dwayne Wade's a lockdown defender. Pierce, lockdown defender. How many times we see LeBron James go down there and block shots? You know what I mean? Kobe Bryant. I mean, these guys are top-notch plays, but I think it'll be a tight race, but I mean, Pierce can win the MVP.
I think Paul Pierce should win the MVP. It's still early. I mean, it's early, but I'm saying, but somebody in Cleveland, this guy LeBron James is scary. It's not funny anymore, guys. It's not funny because you know what? Cleveland, when you look back, was the only team to almost beat the Celtics in the semi, pushing them to 7 games, actually taking the lead in the fourth quarter. And I think LeBron James, first of all, he weighed in at 260.
The guy's a truck.
He's 6'9", okay? LeBron James has the ability to take over the game, and nobody, I'm convinced, in the league can stop him.
And have you seen him shoot the ball this year?
Yes.
I mean, he's always been able to get to the basket and make a shot happen. But when he's shooting lights out, that's just scary. Like, when you think of Kobe Bryant, you think of a guy who can get to the basket and he can shoot on you. Paul Pierce can shoot. If LeBron develops that outside game, how are you going to stop him? He's like 6'8" shooting from the perimeter. Who's stopping him? And if you come out to stop the shot, he's going to blow right by you. I mean,
I like that about Pierce. I mean, Pierce is a great shooter, but it's something about I like when he goes to the rack, man.
Yeah. But you know what? Well, reason why Paul Pierce, might not win the MVP, or maybe will never win the MVP. He's not flashy. He's not the guy that'll tomahawk.
He doesn't do it pretty.
He doesn't. He's 9 to 5. LeBron James is 9 to 2, but puts in 8 hours. That's not bad. That's a smart worker. 9 to 2, put in 8. But this guy works 9 to 5, doesn't do it flashy, but gets the job done. But let's move on to the next question.